Good morning. Today we are working on CO38. I can evaluate, new thing. So we did our adding and subtracting, multiplying and dividing with the expression. Now we're talking about evaluating. Does anybody know what the word evaluate means? Nolan? Some would be if it's adding, but it's the doing the math. When we evaluate algebraic expressions using multiple operations, we're going to actually do the math this time. So evaluate, when you see that in the directions on the math test next week, and it says evaluate this problem, it means do the math. So whatever the expression is saying to do, we're going to do it. So by now, hopefully we are comfortable with variables and using their given values to evaluate expressions. So far, we focused specifically on addition and subtraction, multiplication and division, and exponents. It's been a while, but we did do exponents in the fall. Now we are ready to put all those operations together. Important thing to remember is that PERMDAS. Oh, let's see, is my pen not going to work for me today? Ay. Let's see, it's on the wrong screen. So I need to recalibrate so I get my pen back on the correct screen. Let me do the game real quick. Okay, so important thing to remember is that PERMDAS, the order of operations. We have to follow that when we have multiple operations. What do the letters stand for in PERMDAS? Who remembers? Bridget? Yes, that first P is parentheses. What is the E? Adeline? Exponents. What's the R? Lexi? Radicals. So remember, first thing you look for is parentheses, then exponents and radicals go on that same line. So remember that exponent is if we have 5 squared, that's the same as saying 5 times 5. So that exponent is telling us how many times we're multiplying that number. If it's a radical, that would be saying the square root of 25. So what number times itself would get us to 25? So what would it be, Adeline? 5. So the square root of 25 would be 5. 5 squared is 5 times 5. So they're going together, right? Going different directions, just like multiplying and dividing. So which would be our next level. So we have parentheses, exponents and radicals, multiplying, dividing, adding and subtracting. Remember, if it's on the same level, it doesn't matter which one you hit first. If we have 5 minus 3 plus 7, you would do the minus first, and then you would add, because we read from left to right. But if we had 5 minus 3 times 7, we would have to do the multiplying first, and then go back and redo the 5 minus. Okay. So you have to do that multiplying and dividing before you can do the adding or subtracting. So with this objective, we're going to write each expression with the following values plugged in. If we see an A, we're going to put a 4. If we see a B, we're going to put a 10. If we see a C, we're going to put a 3. And if we see a D, we'll put an 8. Then we're going to evaluate the expression. We're going to do the math. So there is a very specific way that we set this up so we stay organized, so we know which operation we're doing next. So the way that I set this up, I truly want you to set it up the exact same way. And for my friends that come up here, I have these for you. Come on up and get it, because I have that first one set up how it needs to be set up. So come on up if you need to come up. All right. So this first one, the first thing we do is we put in our number for the letter, for that variable. What number should I put in for the A? James? 4, because A equals 4. Does that turn our 2 into a 24? What do I need to put in there? Who remembers what I said yesterday? If we have a number right next to the variable, what operation do we know that automatically is, no matter what? Emerald? Multiplication. So now we have to put that multiplication symbol in. So we remember it's not 24, it's 2 times 4. So it's super important that you remember, when there's a number next to the variable, you have to put that multiplication symbol. Because 2 times 4 is 8. It is not 24. And I want you to get the right numbers. So now we are going to evaluate. We're going to do the math. What's the first thing I'm going to do? Sarah? I'm going to multiply that 2 times 4, because multiplying comes before, oops, I erased it, I'm going to put my PERMDAS right here. Multiplying comes before that adding or subtracting. So I'm going to multiply first. 2 times 4 is 8. I'm going to put that number right underneath it. 2 times 4 is 8. Then I'm going to bring straight down the rest of my expression, so it's going in the exact same order. So now I have 8 plus 6. That's the only operation left, so I'm going to make that a 14. I call this kind of my funnel that I make, and I go down, down, down until I get to my final answer where I just have a number and no operations. I know sometimes I have students that like to do, okay, 2 times 4 equals 8, and then 8 plus 6 equals 14, and they write it out this way. I'm telling you right now that we're in big kid math, super easy to make mistakes and to write things the wrong way and to accidentally make those mistakes. I do not want us to see us writing it out like this anymore. Okay? I'm preparing us for what's to come. I need to see us actually working it out this way because I know what's coming. I know what's coming in this class, I know what's coming in the next class, and the next class after that. And we're setting up good habits on how to work out our math. So when I come around to check, I want to see you setting it up like the funnel. Let's look at our next one. What should I write? Adeline. 10 divided by 5 minus 2. What's my first step I'm going to do, Charlie? Yeah, I have to divide before I can subtract. So I'm going to divide. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Then I'm going to bring down the rest of that expression. So 2 minus 2, that's my only operation. So 2 minus 2 is 0. That is my final answer. I am circling my final answer. So that way you know what the answer is. Is there a way that I could check my work? If we look at this one, well, I suppose we're just doing the math out. Yeah. We just have to make sure that we're doing our math correctly. Okay. You will come down to harder ones down below that have multiple variables you have to fill in. Let's look at this one right here. The parentheses with A plus C, and then we have that square. Who thinks they know how to figure that one out? Aiden, what should I write? The parentheses? Yes. And then our exponent. Super important that we keep those parentheses on there, because when we look at PERMDAS, it's telling me I have to do my parentheses before I can do the exponents. So when I rewrite it, I have to make sure I have the parentheses, and I have to do what's inside the parentheses first. So I have 4 plus 3 inside my parentheses. 4 plus 3 is 7. Once I do all of the math inside the parentheses, I don't need the parentheses anymore because I have just one number. I bring down the rest of my expression, and I have that exponent of 2. Now I need to do the exponent part. What is 7 to the second power? 7 squared. What do you think, Helen? Say 14. So if it was 14, that would be 7 times 2. Remember that exponent isn't saying times that number. What should it be? It should be 7 times 7. So what is 7 times 7? Sarah? 49. So remember, when you're doing the exponent, it means that number times itself that many times. So I should say it's a squared, 7 to the second power, so it should be 7 times 7. I should see that 7 being multiplied 2 times. That was a quick refresher on exponents. Any questions on how to do this? So I want to see your work looking like this, not randomly writing equations throughout your workspace. Work it going down so you're funneling it down to just one answer. At the bottom, there are word problems we have to figure out. So at the bottom, I'm recording. At the bottom, you have to read through it. You're doing the same kind of stuff, but this time it's all written out. And then we have our review at the very bottom. Do your review. And if you're watching this at home and have any questions, make sure you come and ask me. I hope you are well, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.